People stared when Emily's date stood up, whispered, "This won't work," and walked out of the cafe. But what hurt wasn't the rejection, it was how casually he left her wheelchair locked against the table, like she wasn't even human. Emily stared at the untouched cappuccino, trying to blink away the tears before they fell in public. Then she heard tiny footsteps. A little girl, maybe 6, stopped beside her wheelchair. She had curly hair, a pink jacket, and eyes full of questions. Behind her stood a tall man in a charcoal coat, calm, refined, and clearly wealthy. "Daddy," the little girl whispered. "She looks sad." The man knelt down, his tone gentle. "Miss, is everything okay? Do you need help?" Emily forced a smile. "I'm fine. Just rough day." The girl climbed onto the chair across from Emily without asking. "Do you want to be my friend? Daddy says nobody should sit alone." Something inside Emily cracked, but in a good way. Warmth began replacing her humiliation. The CEO waited politely. "If it's all right, may we join you?" Emily nodded slowly. For the first time in a long time, someone wasn't looking at her wheelchair, but at her. And she had no idea her life was about to change forever. The little girl introduced herself with the kind of confidence only children have. "I'm Lily. Daddy says I talk too much, but he still loves me." Emily laughed softly, surprised at how natural it felt. "I'm Emily." The CEO extended his hand. "I'm Daniel. I hope we're not intruding." "Not at all," Emily said. "Actually, thank you." Lily leaned forward, elbows on the table. "Were you waiting for someone?" Emily hesitated, then nodded. Lily frowned. "Did they get lost?" Daniel gently touched his daughter's shoulder. "Sweetheart, maybe they just made a bad choice." Emily swallowed. "Yes. A very bad choice." Daniel's expression shifted, not pity, but something respectful. "Their loss," he said simply. The waiter came over, offering sympathetic glances. Daniel ordered hot chocolate for Lily and tea for himself, then glanced at Emily. "May I get you something?" "I already ordered," she said, pointing at her cappuccino. "But thank you." When their drinks arrived, Daniel spoke again. "If you don't mind me asking, how often do people underestimate you?" Emily exhaled. "Every day." Lily gasped. "Why?" "You're pretty. And nice." Emily smiled, genuinely this time. "Thank you, Lily." Daniel leaned back. "My sister uses a wheelchair. I've watched people treat her like she's invisible. I promised myself I'd never be one of them." Emily stared at him, surprised by the sincerity in his voice. Then Lily held out her little hand. "Can we be friends? Daddy and I don't leave people alone." Emily felt her throat tighten. She took Lily's hand. And for the first time that day, she didn't feel abandoned. She felt seen. Emily didn't notice how much time had passed until the cafe lights dimmed for the evening crowd. She'd been laughing, actually laughing, while Lily told dramatic stories about her school, her cat, and how her dad once burned pancakes so badly the fire alarm yelled. Daniel shook his head. "She exaggerates." "No," Lily said proudly. "I tell the truth loudly." Emily giggled, covering her mouth. The sound felt unfamiliar but wonderful. When Lily went to pick a pastry from the counter, Daniel leaned forward. "Can I be honest with you?" Emily nodded. "I noticed you when we walked in," he said quietly. "You were trying to look brave, but you looked defeated." Her chest tightened. "It was supposed to be my first date in 2 years. I thought I was ready. And he walked out because of this?" Daniel nodded toward her wheelchair. "Yes." Daniel's jaw clenched. "Coward." Emily blinked in shock. "You don't even know me." "I don't need to," Daniel replied. "I know dignity. Kindness. Strength. Anyone who can't see yours doesn't deserve 5 minutes of your time." Emily looked down at her hands, suddenly shy. No one had spoken to her like that in years. Then Daniel added, "Lily and I were supposed to get pastries and leave, but she insisted we sit with you." Emily smiled. I'm glad she did. So am I, he said softly. Lily returned with a chocolate croissant almost as big as her face. Emily! Daddy says I can share this with you if you promise not to run away. Emily laughed. I can't run, Lily gasped. Oh. Then you're perfect. You can't leave without saying goodbye. Emily's heart melted. For the first time in a long time, she felt chosen. When the cafe became busier, Daniel offered to move outside for fresh air. Emily agreed, and he gently unlocked her wheelchair and guided her toward the patio. Not patronizing, just considerate. Lily skipped ahead, humming a tune. Daddy, it smells like cookies out here. Emily breathed in the cool evening breeze. I love outdoor spaces. They make me feel lighter. You deserve that feeling, Daniel said. They settled near the railing decorated with twinkling lights. Emily admired how naturally Daniel adjusted his seat so he was at her eye level. Most people stood over her. He didn't. Lily climbed into her lap without warning. Emily, can I ask you something? Of course. Are you scared of anything? Emily paused. Sometimes. I'm scared people will leave before they know me. Lily nodded seriously. I get scared of that too. Daniel raised a brow. Since when? Since Mommy went to heaven, she whispered. Emily's breath caught. Daniel closed his eyes. Pain flickered on his face, deep, old, and unspoken. I'm sorry, Emily said gently. Daniel nodded. It's been a journey. Lily hugged Emily tightly. Daddy says people who hurt leave, but people who care stay. Emily's voice softened. Your dad is very wise. Daniel looked at her then, really looked, with a warmth she hadn't seen directed at her in years. When Lily ran toward the fairy lights, Daniel spoke quietly. You know, you're very easy to talk to. So are you, Emily whispered. Their eyes met, an unspoken connection forming like a small flame in the darkness. Neither of them expected what would happen next, or how deeply it would change them both. A sudden crash echoed from inside the cafe. Emily turned sharply. Lily screamed. Daniel bolted toward the door, Emily wheeling behind him as fast as she could. Inside, a tray had fallen, and hot chocolate was spilling across the floor. But Lily wasn't hurt. She was standing beside a teenage busboy who looked embarrassed and utterly lost. I bumped him, Lily said sadly. I'm sorry. The boy shook his head. It's my fault. Daniel crouched beside him. Are you okay? The teen nodded, though he looked overwhelmed. Emily noticed his trembling hands. He muttered, My manager already warned me. I might get fired. Without hesitating, Daniel pulled out his business card. Come see me tomorrow. I admire people who own their mistakes. The boy's eyes widened. You're Daniel Reed? The tech guy? Daniel smiled lightly. Don't let that scare you. Emily watched, amazed. Kindness wasn't something he spoke about. It was something he lived. When they returned outside, Lily tugged Emily's sleeve. Daddy helps people. It makes him happy. I can see that, Emily said softly. Daniel turned to Emily. You know, meeting you wasn't planned. But I'm glad it happened. Emily felt her heartbeat rise. Me too. Lily climbed between them, took both their hands, and declared, We should all have dinner. Friends eat together. Daniel chuckled. Only if Emily says yes. Emily looked at the little girl, then at the man who'd shown her more respect in 1 hour than her date had in a month. She smiled. Yes. I'd like that. As they walked away under the evening lights, Daniel guiding her gently, Lily swinging their hands, Emily realized something. Today didn't end with rejection. It ended with hope. And maybe, a new beginning.